Good evening, everybody. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Cafe Parfait. Hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. Happy Saturday. I don't know. That's it. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing well. We're gonna do more Ace Attorney. We're gonna pick up where we left off last week. This time, for sure, we will finish this darn case if it's the last thing we do. And then we'll, start the next one. Considering how long this one was, I really doubt we're gonna finish the next one. I also don't know how many cases are in this thing, but there's gotta be at least one more, because we haven't actually addressed... We just found the Atagarasu. We haven't exactly addressed why she's back, what she's doing, all that helped her out. We know we're gonna help her. She's basically our Maya this time. So, there's probably one or two more cases after this. If not more, I have no idea. But we're gonna find out together. So we'll at least start the next case. This isn't gonna be a super long stream day. My FC wants to do things yet again. So worst case, we'll go to actually, I don't know, worst, best, longest case, for better or worse, will be 10 o'clock. We might stop earlier though. We'll see. We'll also see how long it takes me to go through my pot of tea. So that's my cutoff. If I run out of tea, I'm not gonna go make another pot today, so that'll be that. But I did make the big pot, so we got some time. Alright. Let's get started, shall we? I don't know, there's no reason to delay, nothing to talk about specifically. Not much going on with me, so yeah. Let's mosey on in. Let's go. Let's do it. Alright, so where we left off, this kid, these two were in cahoots with the guy they murdered, which was the butler, and also her dad, unbeknownst to her. And he did it because he is in debt with Tenderlander. This lovely... It's a love letter. My dear Lanzamano, may I come see you again, your beloved Viola? But really, she's just like, you owe me $1 million. He probably has a gambling problem or something. I don't know. Spoiled rich kid, spending way too much money. Very tropey. The murder probably happened in the haunted house. I almost said haunted mansion, but that's a whole other thing. Haunted house. So it probably happened in the haunted house, which we would love to go investigate, except this guy, Daddy Dearest, Edgeworth's friend, who also thinks Manfred von Karm is the best damn prosecutor in the world, and either is completely clueless about what actually happened, or took that into account and still thinks he's the best prosecutor in the world. I don't think that's a bridge we're gonna cross right now, but anyway... old friend of Von Karma's. Anyway, yeah, so he bought the haunted house from the management of Gatewaterland. Go figure, right? So now we can't go investigate without, whatever it is that we need to get into private property in this world. Unless Interpol over here, this guy and this lady, Unless they somehow can bust in and be like, screw your laws, I'm going in to investigate anyway. I don't know, we'll see. But that's kind of where we left off. We were just like, okay, we need to go check out the haunted house. That's probably the murder scene. And he's just like, not so fast. I bought the rights. You can't bust into my private property. And we're like, great, thanks. All right, so clearly we got some investigating left to do. Gotta figure out how to get into the haunted house and bust these guys. Is he gonna get in trouble for assisting? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, March 13th, 4:27 p.m., Gatewater Land, main gate. If I can't get permission to investigate the crime scene, then the truth will be lost. Hold it! Hold it, hold it, hold it! Oh, hold on, that reminds me. I changed one of the settings for the emotes. So, where the heckers? There it is. Objection over here is now a follower emote. Everybody can use it if you're following the channel. Object away. Participate in the game. It'll be great. So yeah, now you no longer have to be subbed to use the objection emote. You still need to be subbed to use the cats or the little parfait emotes, but objection's free. Participate in the game. It's fun. Alright. Holding it. Okay. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this. And what is that? When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am Kay Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu. But I thought you were a thief, not a hero. The Yatagarasu is noble and is always a thief of justice. That's, of course. If we have enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. We don't even need to go inside. Perfect. I didn't even think of that. Awesome. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony, you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. We may be able to figure out some new information through this. It's worth a try. Agent Lang. Ah, so you wanna use your little toy? Be my guest. Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Detective Gumshoe. Is there a copy of the haunted house's blueprints among the police's reference documents? Yes, sir. We got it just in case we needed it for the kidnapping case. All right, I'll input the haunted house data then. Whew! This is so cool. I love science. What is this? Where are we? Switching between the voices is hard. It's like we're inside the haunted house! Even if we can't inspect the real location itself, the path to the truth slumbers here. If I can successfully navigate my way using logic, I'll ultimately arrive at the truth. Now then, I believe I'm ready to investigate the crime scene. Ooh. Okay, what should I recreate first? You haven't figured it out yet? Maybe I have and maybe I haven't, but I'm going to make you do all the hard work. That's a no. Let's be real, that's a no. Very well. I'd like to inspect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. The two of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I'd just come out into the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At that time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall. Nightmare! Huh? What was a badger doing all the way down there? I also thought it strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere. Yo, same, and then it got up. Creepy. Well, same but also not same, because it's like, You would assume as the character that that was supposed to be there, but knowing that there's a little something about to happen, probably a real person. So in character, suspect the thing, but, you know, us as the player, suspicious.
Do you know which badger it was?
Proto-badger was Lance! Totally him. He beamed us over the head. No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was its silhouette.
In that case, I guess I'll just silhouette a badger silhouette in for now. Sorry, I'll just program in a badger silhouette for now. Okay, programming complete.
Then I started walking towards the exit.
And that's when you're struck from behind, right?
Yes.
But that's odd. The hallway's a dead end. Where did your assailant come from?
There's only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait here. In the dining room? But from what we saw, that would have been... But that's too far, is what they're saying, so it would have been here in the dining room, right? Logically.
What are you thinking, Mr. Edgeworth? That's a terrible hiding spot. He'd have to be a real ninja to get away with hiding in there.
That's not exactly what the nuance I was trying to convey. Shit. Where could my assailant have been hidden himself in this haunted house? I mean, he was the badger, right? That doll I saw wasn't really a doll. It was in fact a costumed kidnapper. I thought they were trying to logic it and get it wrong, but we really just wanted the right answer. Okay. I'm an idiot. Shit happens.
Oh, so he used the costume as the perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house.
Precisely. He waited until I had made the drop-off and was about to leave. And then, just as he saw me take a step towards the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this.
Hey, not bad. I'm beginning to think I should steal this tactic for myself.
Just don't use it to do anything criminal, Kay. Well, Lance? What are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figured I should give you the chance to confess first. I was one of the kidnappers, but I don't know anything. I did come up to the haunted house, but I never set foot inside. Hi, Chirico! This is a cat who has needs. Do you mind not bumping into the mic? Are you gonna jump over to the window? What are we doing? Make up your mind, I need to play the video game. We're live, Chirico. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside. Is he telling the truth, or is this another lie? Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me? Yes, I'm sure it was him.
Okay, inputting the new info now. Mr. Deacon was the bad badger, right? Since the bad badger has a gun attached to its right hand, I'll have to change it so the weapon is in its left hand.
Now to verify the facts of this recreation. Begin investigation! Okay. So, have you noticed anything worthwhile?
I have no obligation to talk with you. Well, I'm fine with just Little Thief in solving this case. That toy, it's very well made.
Yes, Chirico, I know you wanted attention. Don't touch that. Cat, don't touch that.
Haha! That's because it's the heart of the noble thief, Yatagarasu.
Okay, that may not be something you want to advertise to everyone. So, Sheena, what exactly is the source of this extra-dimensional-like space?
I believe this is nothing more than a projection from that girl's toy.
So, it's all an illusion, right?
Yes. Hey, don't treat this like some sort of silly light show.
Thanks for letting us use, Little Thief. Lang Ji says, reject not those who seek the truth. So keep in mind that I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing this for the truth. Don't worry, I understand. We may have different methods, but our wish is the same. Chiriko, is your wish the same? Do you wish me to finish this video game? You guys can't see it because it's like in between the two cameras, but he keeps headbutting me. If I stop paying attention to him to go back to playing the video game. I know, you're so cute! It's amazing, isn't it? Can you, like, stop hitting everything? It's a replica of myself.
You were totally oblivious to what was behind you, huh?
Yes, I suppose I'm also to blame for what happened to me. It was incredibly dark, which was all the more reason I should have been more alert. I vow to never be caught by surprise ever again. I can't believe what I'm seeing, sir! The space that I'm standing in. It's like out of some crazy dream. Except that this isn't a dream. This is something Kay's gadget. No, wait, this is exactly like a dream, sir. I've never been so impressed. It's a miracle. Someone sure is easily impressed.
I'm so glad you like it.
Oh, so this is a product of your gadget? Now I wish I had one too.
Well, once this is over, I'll let you play with it for a bit if you want.
You'd do that for me, pal? Thanks. Alright, let's wrap this case up already. It's times like these that I wonder if they understand the seriousness of the situation.
Yes?
Nope, don't need to ask you those. You can lie all you want, but it will be for naught, Lance. Yep, cat's gone. Beep. Soon as I expose the truth, you'll be placed under arrest. How can you do this, after all that my dad has done for you? What your father has done for me is unrelated to the charges you face now. Unbelievable.
You know, you sound kind of like a bully right now, Mr. Edgeworth.
If I'm not serious about this, he will never understand the true gravity of his crimes. I will not allow him to remain a child forever.
Now you sound like a dad.
He didn't recreate the weapon.
Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about. So, tell me, what were you hit with?
The attack came from behind, so I have no idea, but I doubt it was someone's bare hands.
Okay, then where were you hit?
I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. His right's over here. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious.
Ouch, sounds painful.
Why are you smirking like that when you say it?
It's just your imagination. Now, let's see. What if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon? I'm looking for something the culprit could have used to hit you with.
Can I hit back? Because I wasn't done talking to people. No. Okay, fine. I have it. There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. A prop sword.
Are you talking about this thing here?
Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait. Yes. It's possible that the culprit took it with him after using it on me.
To leave no evidence behind, right?
Correct. It may be worth a more thorough examination yet.
Okay, so what test do you want to run on the sword?
Test with Luminol. The culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so fingerprint analysis is useless. Let's run a Luminol test. It's possible that some of my blood found its way onto this. Agent Lang, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter? Like I have a choice. Sheena, call the lab boys.
Understood.
Except for a dab on the left side, it would appear that the blade is spotless.
So it must have been the left side of the prop sword that hit you then, right?
Broken prop sword data updating the organizer. Contradiction.
Okay, I'll update the recreation with this new piece of info.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Oh my god. I will rest, in fact, because I want to go talk to people. Miss Poe, by my hand I will prove your innocence in the murder of Mr. Deacon. Therefore, please don't fret. It will soon be over. Do you not trust me?
That is... Your face is all beet red, Miss Poe.
Pops? Pops. Maybe it's Pops.
No, I can't. I have Lance.
Lolly, don't tell me that you like that guy more than me.
That's... Why am I so pathetic? I'm so easily swayed by even a single glance.
What exactly is she going on about?
I think you have another guilty person on your hands, Mr. Edgeworth.
Miles, my boy, what is the meaning of all this? Do you plan to pay me back for all I've done for you with the conviction of my son? Maybe. I have not forgotten my debt to you. However, your son's crimes are a separate matter. Further, I can't ignore the truth when it's right before me. You will regret this! I promise you that! No matter the outcome, I never regret the choices I make. Mirror?
When you take a look around, it almost feels more like a house of mirrors.
Indeed. Never heard of this many mirrors inside a haunted house before.
Well, at least we know this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. Like a mirror house, haunted house hybrid, this place is full of mirrors. Hey, wait! These shards, there's something different about them.
Oh.
The ones we found earlier are thicker than the shards from these mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back too.
The pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. Interesting. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of these mirrors? Discovered in front of the front gate. Pieces of a set of armor in a pile here.
Why do you think they almost always have sets of armor inside haunted houses?
I suppose this sort of interior design is meant to bring out a sense of the abnormality.
Why do all your explanations have to be so hard to understand, Mr. Edgeworth? Now try explaining it again, but this time so that even a thief like me can get it.
That may prove to be a most difficult task.
I imagine this is how he snuck up on you.
And that gadget of yours can even replicate people's movements.
Well, it's used to plan heists, so of course it's gotta be able to simulate the police.
It's definitely very well made. Perhaps too well made. Maybe I should confiscate it after the investigation. House of Mirrors. How can you have this many? That one's different. Yeah, it's the same convo. I remember glancing over and seeing this figure sitting here as I left the room.
So I guess I got it spot on. So I guess I got it spot on when I put it in here in my recreation.
I didn't take a good look, but I'm sure there was a badger here. Wrong badger, though. Alright, let's go inspect the nooks and crannies, shall we? Edgeworth's favorite thing to do. Yeah, that's too awkward, because that would be like an outward swing. I don't know. It's me. I have to say, it's rather embarrassing to see myself like this.
Oh, so what were you thinking about at that time?
I don't recall, but I would guess that I was thinking about the kidnapping.
Really? Because I don't think so at all. Your face practically screams, I'm about to be conked over the head.
If I had known that at the time, do you think I would have let myself be hit?
And in the next instant, this badger will swing his left arm complete with the weapon in hand.
Yes, to club me with the left side of the prop sword.
Shall I recreate the moment of the impact? I want to see the pained expression on your face.
It's just fine the way it is. Wait, maybe not. It's just my imagination or something not quite right. Yeah, that would have hit him on the right side.
You know, the bad badger is pretty bad looking when you see him up close.
Well, what did you expect from a character named the Bad Badger?
And those sunglasses, wearing them in the dark makes him seem extra bad.
Now I'm lost. Which meaning of bad does she really mean? Just want to see if there's anything else to say about this. It is weird to have sunglasses inside this dark house, so... I think we just need to deduce. So if they hit him on his right side, wham, then it's probably on the wrong side of the blade, right? I don't know. I'm sure that's what we're getting at with this, but I can't really think of it right now. Hit me in the right temple area. Left side of the blade. Okay, so... with the way he's holding it, it would have been... yeah, so like that way... Finally, I found a clear contradiction of facts about this sword. Except for a bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side.
The opposite side? Huh?
If the culprit held the sword in his left hand, then the sword's right side would hit. Okay. I don't know.
I see, but the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Which means that he used his right hand to hit you.
Exactly. This prop sword is a large handguard attached to the hilt. It would be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, if it couldn't be the left hand or both hands, then it must have been the right.
I'll change the data to reflect a right-handed swing.
No, not yet, Kay. There's no sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it only created a new contradiction. Changing the prop sword to be in the culprit's right hand would conflict with what? Popgun. I guess this is it. The bad badger already holds a gun in his right hand, so he can't hold a sword in addition.
Hey, that's right. Then what now? If it wasn't in his left or his right hand,
it means that the one who struck me could not have been the bad badger. Are you paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as our primary suspect.
Fine, it was me. I hit you.
It appears that you lied to me yet again, but see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance?
Wait, isn't Lance left-handed?
Ah, yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult, but that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance. Or should I say, the Proto-Badger. Yep, it was definitely Nightmare Fuel Badger. Can confirm.
You got it, here I go!
Nightmares! Now we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me.
Alright, all we have to do is examine this new recreation and...
What exactly is so funny, Agent Lang? That amusing little gadget, it sure packs a punch, right, Sheena?
Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf! He and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other.
You had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by listening. But the crude conclusions you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. What is this guy's problem? There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right?
Well, when you put it that way...
Your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm going to let you in on this. There's a trick to this haunted house. And what may that be exactly? A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce. Sheena!
Here you are.
Now then, what you missed, girlie, is written right here in this pamphlet. 7 Wonders of the Haunted House. The Disappearing Badger. Interesting.
What is this?
I'd say that someone around here is fond of theatrics. And as you can see, they set a doll down at the end of this hallway for that purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. Interesting. How can this be? Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window.
That can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere. And then he laid down and pretended to be it instead.
The criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway. How could he hide a giant doll? Do you get it now? Thanks to your presumptions. Your logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Now, get off your high horse.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, I wonder if you could please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? Can't quit, not until I can declare that I found the truth. Agent Lang, for the additional information, you have my thanks. There you go again. We'll see if I care.
Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden.
The slumped-over badger was just a doll. Where was my attacker hiding?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go.
Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. Thanks for... Oh, same convo. Alright, so... Got anything else to say about the mirror? No. Thicker from the mirrors in this room. Some sort of design on the back. What does this mean?
But what does it mean?
Are we gonna logic? Mirror shards? No, we only have the mirror shards. Pieces of set armor are in a pile here.
Why do you think they always... Oh.
We talked about that already.
This is where the proto-badger shows up in our recreation.
Yes, now the question is, where did he come from?
Yeah, but there's no place to hide in our current model.
There must be an inconsistency somewhere. Weren't the mirrors broken? Window? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This blue badger is just a doll for use in this haunted house.
I thought when you killed this blue badger was the bad badger, right?
According to the Blue Badger Bible, it says that they are each other's worst enemy.
All because one's an ally of justice and the other's a vile criminal with a gun?
Perhaps they were just destined to battle each other. Like us and Xenos! Much like a steel samurai and the evil magistrate. I mean, it's the same info. Is there anything else to look at? It's supposed to be disappearing though, right? Check. The disappearing badger. Seeing is believing. If I look at its feet, yeah, it doesn't say anything, but we can probably point out the pamphlet. Why is the proto-badger part of the show? Is the spot someone connected to any of the evidence? This is in complete contradiction to this piece of evidence. Maybe it's not in complete contradiction.
Hold it, Mr. Edgeworth. Which is it? Is it a contradiction or not?
Sorry. Don't know. Something wrong with this scene, that much I know for sure. Or maybe it's just a trick of the eye. No, that can't be it. We about to die, so we should really save. Oops. What else is there to look at? Like a mirror house, haunted house, hybrid, this place is full of mirrors. I mean, is there any part of this that doesn't talk about? I don't know what we're looking for. Mirror shards. What else are we looking for? About these shards or the room? Okay, let's look at the organizer. It wasn't this. 7 Wonders of the Haunted House. I know, you're a cat. An ally of justice who keeps the peace.
What? What do you want?
Chiriko? Is it the fact that there should only be 2 of them? For the photo rally? Only 1 of each badger in the park. Is that it? Is that the issue here? Alright, let's try it. Hold on a second here. There's something wrong with this blue badger.
Huh? Like what?
The way the belt is on him is opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake?
It can't be. I inputted the image data exactly as it is in the pamphlet.
So then why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? Oh! Mirror trick. I get it. Blue badger in reverse. Mirror shard. Okay, do you remember what you said earlier?
What I said earlier about what?
About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors.
A house of mirrors? Oh, that would explain the reversed or mirror image.
Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than a reflected image of a real one.
Then was the blue badger you saw just a reflection?
When I looked down this hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror...
Oh, then it would actually form an L shape, right?
Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black, and there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hallway.
Wait, but why build this place like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me.
Kay, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. They created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose, one I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall. For the disappearing badger trick. As it's written in the pamphlet, the main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger.
You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it was definitely still there.
And that was true at the time, however. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. Move the mirror wall, dim the lamps, move the blue badger. Move the mirror wall. To remove a reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. And then, beyond where the mirror was, an empty hall had to be created.
Oh, so they wanted people to see the blue badger. So when they... so when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror.
And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. Interesting, so there's a secret room. This explains why the other side of these fragments have a design on them.
Ah, and if the pattern is the same as the other walls in this hallway...
And then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. And this is the mirror trick that the haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit.
Huh? How so?
Think about it, Kay. There was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding here. In the hallway. And there was a very large blind spot I could not see beyond, and it was here. My assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror.
And you wouldn't be able to see him.
He didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll.
Oh, he didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll.
Exactly. All he had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror.
Wait, hold on. I just thought of something.
Yes.
Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality?
Since we have a few shards of it, we can probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, that would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait, that sound. Leave the money and go, now! That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Kay, I'd like you to input some new information.
Don't scare me like that!
Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me.
Sure, whatever you need. So, what do you need anyway?
You could first recreate this hallway just before I entered the dining room.
You got it.
Now this, I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Although at the time, I thought it was but a single straight hallway. And then I went inside. It was around then that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering.
You heard what? Then...
Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken.
Okay, so when you stepped outside into the hallway again...
The mirror wall should no longer exist. Kay, please recreate that.
Got it. Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. So where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth?
That's easy enough. With the mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway.
I think this about wraps it up. Looks like we finally solved everything.
No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head.
Huh?
Perhaps you did not notice, but this recreation contains a very troubling inconsistency. The inconsistency between what I saw and what lies here? And what really happened? Well, because then he didn't see a badger down here. Okay, took a good look at the end of the hall.
Oh, there's no blue badger there.
Exactly, the blue badger that I saw in reality is not there. This is the final point on this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction.
So, let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right?
And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger. The victim's costume? The badger I saw was in actuality the dead victim's body. What? Agent Lang, the entirety of my complete logic is my final, decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off. And you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the mirror wall was broken. Ha! You were in the house at the time, right? Are you telling me that you missed the sound of a gunshot? There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics, I presume. The gunshot must have blended right in. Hi-ya! Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? He was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him. It was you, Lance Amano. He broke his handcuffs, and he's just crying. Okay. I'm sorry! It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See? That's justified self-defense. My boy was only trying to protect himself. That remains to be seen, and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lang, I leave the rest to you. Heh, as if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. Wait! I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person you should be arresting is Lance. Dad! Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tampered with the evidence so that you could cover for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all. Truly touching. Ugh. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You wounded me. I came all this way from across the sea just to see you, you know. You came to see me? What's that supposed to mean? I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about a case from 10 years ago. Case from 10 years ago? Oh, is this gonna be a Manfred case? Oh, what's the name that you use for that case? Sheena!
It's known as the KG-8 incident.
The KG-8 incident? Oh, so you remember it? Good. Then you'll recall that the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring. Smuggling. There's that word again. At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Dever- Whoa! Colin Deveray took the fall? He was probably innocent and was actually like Ernest Amano himself doing the smuggling, because the smuggling is still clearly happening. As we can see from our airline case. Ooh, it's all connected. This is cool.
Father!
Even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, Mr. Deveray, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Amano. Mr. Deveray was arrested in place of you, which is why, when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret. That makes a lot of sense now. I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would he take him back, you know? Because clearly he used to work for him, and now he's working for him again, so... Interesting. Now. Please calm down. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Heh, pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyway for a nice long chat. Hold it! Who is it? What the? Who the heck was that? Did we get this guy earlier? Oh, sorry, I had to stretch my back really quick. I'll take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. And who the heck are you? I'm Jack Portsman, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Oh, Jack. Sorry, hold on. Oh, Jack, thank goodness you're here. Don't jerk me around. This is an Interpol case, so keep your paws off my suspect.
Sorry, but I can't comply. I've got backing from the prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring cases to the court. So, if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
I thought we nailed this guy for murder. What the fuck happened? Did he get off? Yeah, because this was after that. Who let him out? Because he killed a man in our fucking office. Right? Sorry, but I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Guys, arrest these two suspects. Sir! Oh, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you. Thank me? Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal.
Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean?
You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had a legitimate reason to arrest him. So, how does it feel to bite the hand that feeds you? The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow. Heh, it's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Amano in the smuggling ring, right? No? No, I would never do such a thing. What the heck? Our intel's never wrong. In your prosecutor's office, there's definitely someone working with the ring. Ah, so Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Amano. That must be the real reason behind his antagonistic attitude. On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors too, are you? The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed. Well, don't worry. It's not only you. The whole lot of you can't be trusted. Prosecutor who never lost in 40 years? Every defendant must be found guilty? Fueled by those ideas, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? It would seem that his disdain extends beyond me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all? Yo, to be fair, in our time as Phoenix, some of the shit prosecutors do is pretty fucked up. And the police, there's just a lot of corruption going around, so, I mean, I understand where this man's coming from. Does that make it right? No, not necessarily, but at least I understand it. Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving. So don't you forget it. Is this what Japan thinks about China? Because China people in here are weird. Please wait. Agent Sheena. Why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so?
Lang is the head of the long-honored house of Lang and Zhengfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood.
Were? What do you mean by that? Aren't they still?
They were revered, but that was long ago. They don't hold that sort of sway anymore. And it was all because of the courts.
How can that be?
A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence that the Lang detectives found. A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence one of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Lang family its honor and trust.
But not all prosecutors are like that.
Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor.
So, Agent Lang is a man who hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors.
Man, what a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jim, we'd better catch up.
Oh, was this before? Yeah, because Jim's still alive. Okay, so this is before all the shit went down in his office. So we met Kate before that happened? Time travel's weird. We started in the future, then we went backwards. Alright, I didn't realize we were still in the past. I thought this was after the office stuff, but this was in between. Okay, got it. I'm okay now. Yeah.
We've still got to deliver that thing to the old man, after all.
Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed home ourselves. Yeah, aren't you going home too, Mr. Edgeworth? No, I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. If it's alright with you, can you drop me off at my office? No problem, sir.
Excuse me.
Yes? What is it?
Thank you very much.
Ah, it's okay. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective.
I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. Oh, cruel fate! What's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves? And to think I never realized my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure.
There she goes again, talking to herself. Miss Pops, I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping.
No, I have no idea.
Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the very beginning he had no interest in the staged self-abduction.
Wait, then why did he die?
I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops.
Me?
Lance realized that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Deveray into cooperating.
Father!
As a felon, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do, but that was the shape of his overflowing love for you. Go on, speak your mind.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, although there's no need to thank me.
No, Lauren, stop! I mean, this man's so much older than you.
Oh, Edgeworth gained another fangirl. First Wendy, now Lauren. Good job, Edgeworth.
Looks like you've completely stolen her away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Way to go, sir!
Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief.
What are you going on about now?
Wow, your deducing skills may be sound, but you're no street smarts.
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you.
Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. If you haven't remembered in all this time, I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know.
What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth? How do you know this girl?
Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy.
Gummy?
Here, maybe this will jog your memories. I promised I'd return this to you one day, remember?
Nuts. We're gonna get a flashback episode? That single piece of cloth took me back, far into my past. To that fateful day 7 years ago, when I first met the then-child Kay. And Detective Gumshoe. Whoa! Backstory on how Edgeworth met Gumshoe? That's awesome. I dig it. I'm into it. The end. Turnabout reminiscence. Heck yeah. Let's do it. Yep, let's go. Episode 4, Turnabout Reminiscence. Kay Faraday, The young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. 7 years earlier. Yeah, that's right! I did it! I killed the guy! But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it. Objection! I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say? Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu! Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. You saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it! You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy! Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday is the Yatagarasu? That's right, something. Mr. Rell, I think we've heard just about enough out of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You gotta believe me! In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready. September 10th, 3:20 p.m., District Court, 3rd floor lobby. Are we in the past? Oh, younger Edgeworth, here we go. Wait, 7 years ago? Has it been so long? How far ahead of the original game are we? Shit. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Edgeworth. Oh no, it's Von Karma! Just when we thought we'd seen the last of him. I mean, they do bring him up in the game, so I guess I should have expected this. Sir. Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know. Very good. Paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection. I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in a court at such an early age in my career, I am honored and proud. As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion. Yes, sir. That such a legendary prosecutor is watching over and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute. Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct? Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he had only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Byron? Names? Hard? What? Byron Faraday? Gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey. Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byron Faraday? He is a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense. Nonsense. He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. Those who cannot be brought to court. That is nonsense, for no man is above the law. Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there's no reason to even deal with such individuals. Prosecutors are guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters. And thus, there's no reason to deal with such individuals. I see. Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven. Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused, prosecutor Byron Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt. Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma. This is not the buddy that we wanted. So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything that is written down in the case files. Well, then explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about. Understood. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Codopian embassy. The victim, Mr. Deadman. Mr. Deadman was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel. Mackerel and Deadman, great! Was held for questioning the night of the incident, as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Codopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claims that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but he did not kill Deadman. Man, I don't know. Dead man. We'll just call him the Dead Man. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie. It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth. Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer. The act of Mr. Rel firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery. Hey, welcome back, 21 Snicks. Is this really the best case in the game? All I see is the flashback, and I'm like, oh god, not Von Karma again. Not the buddy that I wanted, but I guess that's the buddy that I'm gonna get for this case. So, we'll see. It's cool to go back and see the past, and I'm a little excited because it said this is when Edgeworth met Gumshoe, and I'm like, very nice. Perfect. The best friends. Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. By the real Yatagarasu, Baron Faraday. That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Codopian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident. Second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough. Well, even among the police, it's the information that only a select few are privy to. Could you please enlighten me, sir? What is the second KG-8 incident? Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident? In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents. This is a 3-year-old newspaper. KG-8 incident overview data jotted down in my organizer. You've heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct? Let's read it. Reports received from Mr. Manfred von Karma. Received from my mentor. Alright, let's check the details. Daily Express. Codopian Embassy staff member Manny Cochin? Manny Cochin? Or Cochin? I don't know. Found not guilty. The victim, Miss CCU. The names in this case have been very special. A shadow over the Amano group? What's his relation to the smuggling ring? Well, that's a thing. Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling. Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano group. And the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Wasn't a Codopian Embassy staff member arrested for the murder? Yes, a Codopian by the name of Manny Cochin was... Cochin? Cochin, let's just say Cochin. Cochin was the suspect. However, due to the lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Lack of evidence? Ha! If only I was in charge of the case. I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt. To make sure that all criminals are found guilty. My mentor really is dedicated. Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever. There's a running joke in a Discord server that you're in, whenever something bad happens, we blame it on Manfred von Karma. That's very fair. Everything that goes wrong is Manfred von Karma's fault. This dude was super corrupt, so very fair. Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well. That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization. Ooh. And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify. You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling operation. Damn! This smuggling ring is like serious business. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident. So, that's why it's being called the second KG-8 incident? Yes. Yet there's one difference between the two incidents. What would that be? The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an urgent uproar. A great thief, Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu? I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Codopian embassy, what could he or she have been after? Humph. Yatagarasu haunts embassy! Daily Express Special Edition. The noble Yatagarasu vigilante of the business world reappears. And there's a calling card and silhouette. This hair totally doesn't remind me of Phoenix Wright. Not at all. Nah. No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely to steal secrets from the Codopian embassy itself, since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police. What was it the Yatagarasu sent to the police? I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. It was Phoenix all along! That would be hilarious. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day that the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say? And that would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu was left evidence behind, correct? Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more of the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday. Mr. Faraday? He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatakarasu case as well. He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yatakarasu case. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. Interesting. Hello, small K, child. What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
Nice. Did you need something?
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies, but it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
Thanks, that's exactly what I needed.
She wants to use a vending machine, probably. Could that child be here to watch the trial? How disrespectful for a child to be running around inside the courthouse! Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore? The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is complete. Why, you? Do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I'm so sorry! I can have you mopping up the courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant. Edgy and Manfred standing in the same cross-arm position. I didn't even notice that. That's funny. Oh, that's where he picked it up from. This is awkward. Poor bailiff, you didn't deserve this. It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. A proud one you are. Oh no, they're both doing the finger wag! God damn it, Edgeworth. No! Don't be like Von Karma! You had better collect evidence from the Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. September 10th, 4 o'clock p.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. Are we actually gonna do court case shenanigans in this one? I didn't think we were gonna go to court. That's new. We've been investigating this whole time. Oh my god, and now they both crossed their arms. Edward, stop picking up stuff from Manfred. Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either? Bailiff, where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. Hey, Judge. Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. He looks different. Nice. The judge has legs? I know, it's so amazing, isn't it? What a shocker. We thought he was just glued to the bench the whole time. Like a button, you like push you push the button and he goes down. And then you push a button and he comes up. And that's how you get your judge. It's amazing. He actually walks. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Probably a gunshot. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume, however. The judge dispenser coming with a new judge vending machine? Nice. Yep, that's how it works. That's how we get judges. Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to? It's an emergency, sirs! Oh, it's Gumshoe! Silence! There shall be no yelling in the sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from the courtroom, this courtroom at once. Please! Wait! You have to listen to me! There's an emergency! Defendant in lobby number 2! Mr. Faraday and the defendant! The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor! What the fuck?! What? So, we went from having 1 murder per case, and now things have snowballed, and we get a double murder! Triple murder if you count the one that we're in the courtroom for. What the fuck? There's a lot of murdering going on. I was not expecting this. Although, I guess I did say fun times with thieves, rich kids, and murder, so now we're just getting a lot of the murder. Wow. That's a little intense. Alright, September 10th, District Court hallway. Stay back! Ugh. No one's allowed on the crime scene. Period. Just who does this oddball think he is?
This is becoming quite the hotspot.
Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney? Hey, you! Don't run in the hallway, pal! Who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. Remember the 5th case of the first game technically had like 7 murders because of serial killing? That's true! Why are there a shit ton of ants over here? This sofa looks like it's seen its fair share of use. And it looks like another part of the courthouse is visible from the window. Ugh, my eyes have locked with Reflection's eyes in the barred window. As a student of Von Karma, I refuse to back down. Edgeworth, stop having a stare down with yourself. I won. Young Edgeworth was kind of an idiot. Nope, just looking at the sofa. I want to look at the candy! Alright, whatever. Excuse me, but who are you? Alright, we're gonna think of a better... Detective Tyrell Bad. Okay. Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to... Hold on. We need a better detective voice. Let's think about this. Young Eddie is doing his best, even if his best is copying Manfred. That's very true. Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requested that you be here. Hold on, we've got to show everybody the badge. Does showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor? I gotta think about how to do this voice a little better. I don't really like it. Alright, I'll think about that. Of course not. I was simply proving my title prosecutor to you. I see, but most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things. It's like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much and before you know it, you'll be elbow deep in angry criminals. That would definitely be a problem. Crime scene. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? To be fair, Edgeworth, right now you are kid. I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? Mirror? It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, a Mr. Mackerel, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in hand. Was there anyone else who went into the defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. Judging by Eddie's reaction, it seems like calling someone kid is a major insult in the Ace Attorney universe. He's very offended because he thinks he's an adult now. He's like, I'm a big boy and I got my prosecutor's badge, so I'm totally an adult now. He's definitely a kid. He's definitely young. Although, to be fair, the older you get, the larger of an age group you consider a kid is. Everyone's a kid to you after a certain point. He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impudence. This guy is really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not. Well, well. Looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. Ah, the age insults. Okay. Do you have a minute?
You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially in a time like this.
I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court.
Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So, Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh?
She's got the scales of justice on her ears, which is kind of interesting. Have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Karma? Don't do that, Edgeworth! Do not take me for some naive novice.
Do not take me for some naive novice. So, you're a student of Von Karma? I should have... These clothes are a dead giveaway!
The worst character. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. You despise her? I guess I'll see why soon, won't I?
Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay?
I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort.
Just kidding. I was just goofing around. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callista Yu.
Callisto Yu. Hold on. Wasn't the victim CCU? Oh. Well, there's an interesting link already.
And if you're telling me the truth, then we're about to go head-to-head in court.
But of course, I've heard much about you, Miss Yu.
But of course, I've heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare.
Did I say something funny? Gotta show everyone the badge. That's how this works. I didn't show it to Von Karma yet. I'm a little disappointed in myself. It's a shame that we will not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial, too.
Oh, is that a declaration of war? How nice it is to be young and carefree. And What a nice squeaky clean badge you've got yourself there. I'm jealous.
I'm sure it will gleam dull over time. I'm sure its gleam will dull over time with experience.
Are you saying your reputation will also tarnish over time with it?
That's not what I meant.
Well, you just can't avoid some things in life.
I'll never allow my badge or my reputation to become tarnished. Is that why he polishes the... He and Gumshoe polishes the damn thing so much? Hold on. Do you know anything about this? Because that's your sister. Miss Yu, what do you think about this piece of evidence? Cousin, something? I don't know. Definitely relative.
Actually, Edgeworth, I'm interested in finding out what you think about it.
I don't really know all that much about it.
Then I don't really know all that much about it either. Sorry, guess I can't be of any service.
I shouldn't push her too much. She'll just start laughing again. I'd like you to update me on the situation.
I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there?
And that's the case, then why are you here? Ugh, what's so funny?
It's just the way you speak is so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. It's not like I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened.
That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Gumshoe, hello. And you are... What? Who, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a district prosecutor. Prosecutor? Never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal. Told you my name. Now would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe, and just recently I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first. This detective is entirely too excited to be in a murder scene. Look at my badge, Gumshoe. You're gonna spend a great many years polishing it. You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not? You got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective. So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? If you so desire to see one, I just might be able to make your day. You don't have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. And someday, I'm gonna become an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. Nope. There goes the end of my teapot. Did I say something wrong, pal? Forget it, detective. Ah, the Gumshoe theme. Gotta love it. It's very calming, because it's very familiar, and you know it's your best bud, Gumshoe. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident? You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right? I know that, but it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know. Wow, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge. Oops, where's my mouse? So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to defendant lobby number 2. So you were the guard detail? Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty? Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze. You're a detective, and a measly gunshot scared you that much? Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range. And Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there dead. Is that everything? Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Interesting. Other than the gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion. Detective Gumshoe's testimony jotted down in my organizer. Miss Yu! There's someone here who wishes to see you.
Who is it?
A Cordopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin. Found not guilty. Okay. What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Was it Manny Cochin?
I'll be right there.
It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu.
Why are you here? I've no desire to ever see you again.
Now. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat?
Fine, let's go.
Bad. On Karma? Been a long time. Knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception. Do you know Detective Bad, sir? Yes, he's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective. Humph, it's not like I don't know that. Moving on though, Bad, the man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident? So I was right. Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. Can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile! I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes. On Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. Humph, very well. Back on topic. I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here. Hi, Francisca!
Papa! How can you place him in charge?
Francisca, what are you doing here?
I'm here for summer vacation. What else?
Young Francisca is adorable. Look how cute she is. Francisca von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She's the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and a student of his who's also junior to me.
You're also one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it.
You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you?
Ha! If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never!
Why does she always have to be this competitive?
Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case?
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I am 100% confident that I can do better than him.
That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Bad? Yeah. These two will be conducting the investigation. What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene? Ha! This is a perfect opportunity for them to work their prosecutorial skills. Crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad. and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francisca, I leave this case to the two of you. Understood, sir.
Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me. Hold up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this.
Miles Edgeworth.
It's been quite some time, Francisca.
This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
Would it kill you to at least say hello?
Long time no see.
Very good.
Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud.
She hasn't changed it a bit.
Miles Edgeworth! As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name.
For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter. Looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him. He never fails. Now, I'd appreciate if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. September 10th, 4:15 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. That is 2 dead-ass bodies. How did this happen? So, he had to have died first from the gunshot wound, but before that, in order for him to have died, he had to have gotten stabbed first. So, is what they're trying to imply... Probably not the truth, because I bet it was set up. But, what they're trying to imply is... Dude came at him with the knife. He gets stabbed. And then he shoots him back. Faraday shoots Mackerel back. Mackerel dies. Faraday is being severely wounded, falls on top of him. Supposedly. But we know that's probably not what actually happened. Is this the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously?
Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking.
What are you talking about?
I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
Competition?
The person that figures out the truth first wins.
So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name?
Exactly! I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things from your foolishly foolish mouth.
Fine, whatever makes you happy.
Can I take that as you accepting my challenge?
Once again, whatever makes you happy.
Ha! Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am.
Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. You kids over there, hold it! Kid?
Ha! Says you right, Miles. He just called you a kid.
I said kids, kid!
How dare you call me a kid as well?
Do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy, you're gonna watch over these two. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. Now, sorry. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
You'd better not get in our way, Scuffy. Oh, you'll feel the bite of my whip if you do.
Eek! And you, prosecutor boy! Let's get your investigation started already, alright? Great, now even that detective is treating me like a child. Alright, it's time to get investigating. Gotta move on, prosecutor boy. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. What? Oh no, the threats begin! And what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was? That's up to you now, isn't it? Really? Sounds good, pal. So naive. This poor man makes so little money. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. Raid! Neo Neko raiding! What's up? How's it going? How's your... You're doing Genshin? How's Genshin Impact? How was your weeb game? No hint quests are dumb? Were we talking about 14 or Genshin? I didn't know Genshin Impact had quests like that. Both? Oh, I don't know. I haven't had a problem with the ones in 14 since the one in 2.0. But I haven't done the ones in Endwalker yet, so we'll see what happens. I did the ones in, like, Stormblood. I don't remember if there were any in Shadowbringers. But I did the one in Stormblood. Actually, I think there were some in Shadowbringers. Those weren't too bad either. How is it compared to... How are the ones in Endwalker compared to the other ones? Like, is it harder? I guess I'll find out. Are you gonna go help the kids? Oh, there's more of them? Oh. Whatever. Are you gonna go help the kids with their mount farming? See? Okay. I'm gonna stop, like, probably after whenever I get a break in this case. Like, whenever it's break time and I hit a save point. Taru didn't follow you! I'll stop when I hit a save point here because I'm almost out of tea. And I said that, like, when I run out of my tea, that's when I'll stop. So, I got 1 cup left. So, I guess I'll be on in probably less than an hour. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to get through. We'll see. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Yeah, where did he get where did these weapons come from? Like, that's unusual. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Huh, maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid. Is he going to treat me like a child forever? Looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence so as to ensure the honor of the Von Karma name. Nope, time to look around. There's some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Tea set and plastic bags on top of the table are completely undisturbed. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. Interesting. Hold on, talk to the partner. Yeah, pal? About investigating. I'm so excited, pal! This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating. Detective Gumshoe. I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. Ha! What do you know about how to run an investigation, little boy prosecutor? I know that at the very least I have greater grasp than you of what happened here. Why, you don't know any more than me, pal! Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way! Ironic coming from the guy that's been a step behind me this entire case. Notice anything? This is my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. As a suspect detective? Of course not, pal! Anyway, this lobby is actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room's really decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all. I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be a bad idea. Oof. Them's harsh words. But he is right. This room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. Oh, I gotta stretch. Okay. Murder? So, Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, boy? All the people that call me that. This detective is by far the least qualified. I wanted to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding. See for yourself, pal. Do I do a great detective bad or what? Has this man not a professional bone in his body? Very well. Then I will inspect the victim's bodies myself. What's going on over here? Some stuff in the bag, sir. Oh, something like that. Suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. That's the evidence? I'd better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Rel. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem to right. And what would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? Now I've been downgraded to just boy. Wow! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Oh, let me see here. Wow, this thing's just huge. Ah! And way too noisy. You're so noisy, Von Scuffy. Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. Foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. The window is open, and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. The flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. You willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows. No human can climb through these barred windows. The scent of flowers is in the air. I mean, these days, if you have bars on the windows, they must also have quick release latches on them so that you can get out. Because if there's a fire, sometimes that's the only escape route. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Oh, that's fair. We are in a courthouse, so I guess I could see that. Francesca?
I see.
Did you figure something out?
This is a competition, Miles. And as such, I'd appreciate if you didn't talk to me.
As you wish. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Looks like the sofa's ready to be disposed of. It's so soft, I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing. Yo! Sometimes I wish we had 25 hours. Extra hour of sleep. If only I could dispose of him. Looks like... Oh, we're just gonna talk about the sofa, not the painting? Okay. But I wanted to look at the painting. Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. First glance, it seems like they must have killed each other, however. Using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Aha! What was that outburst for? My detective instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You didn't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until I examine the bodies. Nooks and crannies, got it. That's interesting. Why is there blood on this one? Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. You know that much, detective. Sure good at this stuff. Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? That's the thing we already got. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding a gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while he was still gripping the gun. I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should just jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Handgun data jotted down in my organizer. Knife. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. And he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Is Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about this. Knife data jotted down. What kind of info did we put in about these? Nothing? Was Faraday's evidence from embassy staff killing case? It was found in his hand. Believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. Wasn't Holland guarded other than gunshot? Didn't hear signs of a struggle. First, he killed a Kodopian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know? Oh, what makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Dead Man. Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yep, you know about it? It's a special feeling that all We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Mr. Faraday, how ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse. Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. Can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you could spend your time continuing the investigation. Did you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder. Right, I'm on it, pal! Ah, whipping gumshoe begins. So what do we got for logic? Neat and tidy. The tea set and plastic bags off the table are completely undisturbed. No human can climb through these barred windows. Scent of flowers is in the air. Like, this is kind of weird together, right? I don't know. I'm gonna think about this. I mean, that's just looking at them. Oh, what's this on his hand? His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Mr. Faraday has ink on his left hand. Why is there ink on such a place anyway? Interesting. Ah, an ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. Feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal? That's interesting. Mr. Revell's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? Can't confirm Mr. Bell's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them as the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Labby! Nope, hold on. Labby! Yes, sir! We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not! What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir! Understood, sir! Well, that certainly looks like a stab wound and a gunshot wound. That's a pen. Want to rest in nooks and crannies again. First he killed a Godopian and staff. Yep. We already had this conversation. Detective's intuition. Don't have time for this. Okay. Gunshot wound. Shot in the chest. Takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round goes very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. And therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. Interesting. Handgun data updated. You sure know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. This typo is a little annoying. This should be 2 M's. That bothers me. Bloody knife. Looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding. Ouch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed. Just keep your mind on the case, alright? There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. The fountain pen in Mr. Faraday's pocket has an especially nice nib. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. Because Detective Bad is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Mr. Faraday. Oh, lose your hope. Yep. Convo we already had. I thought we could maybe check out his scarf, but that ain't happening. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby. Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Let us now try to understand how the 2 men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. That's not possible, dude. It had to have been too far away. Then the 2 men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. I don't believe that. What a crazy way to go! Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. Crime scene notes jotted down in my organizer. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Crime scene notes. Byron Faraday and Mac Rell, time of death September 10th, approximately 4 p.m. Discovered immediately after a gunshot was heard. Remarks about the bodies. Faraday died of a knife stabbed to the chest. Rell died of a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. Yeah, and there's the photos. I guess that's all we're getting out of that. Can we talk to you? If I go around, can I talk to you?
Huh, I see.
Figure something out.
This is a competition, Miles.
As you wish. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Rell looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that... Shit. Just a few things that don't add up, I guess, was what he said. And what would they be? Huh! Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? Now I've been downgraded to just boy. Oh, this is the same condo we had earlier. Okay. Oh, I guess we got a logic. Okay, what do we got? Well, we've got an ink stain and the fountain pen. That splotch of Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I see. Good work. Ah, you know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. Appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. Mr. Faraday's fountain pen, data jotted down in his organizer. He's holding the gun in his right hand, isn't he? Yep, gun's on his right hand. This was a setup. Should be getting planted. Plastic bags strewn about, but the table's neat and tidy. Does this make any sense? It's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. I mean, yep, that's definitely weird. Eek! Please get that blood away from me, pal! Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on the bag. Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so. I leave it in your hands, pal. Plastic bag data jotted down in the organizer. Guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No? No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there's another possibility. No way, pal, really? I suppose we'll just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. So, this is weird. It's connected to the pen. Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy finger behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Investigation complete, heck yeah. September 10th, District Court, Defendant, Lobby, number 2. Here's the autopsy report.
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from a stabbing. Interesting.
Crime scene notes updated in the organizer.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
You sure we know everything?
Of course! The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt.
Do you really believe that to be the truth?
Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my arguments, then prove me wrong. Well, if there's any contradictions to be found, that is.
Don't worry, I will. Young Francesca's precious? Yeah, she definitely is. She's so cute! Look at her! What happened?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. We're gonna press everything, because that's how we roll. Alright, instantaneous death. Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously?
I have some murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented, clear as day.
Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. I mean, after somebody shot Mr. Rell. I don't know. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement?
Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need.
Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed.
You're finally beginning to catch on, I see.
Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. He got shanked. So, you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rell became desperate, as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So, the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to the struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that is perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony.
Fine. They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
About the statement.
Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do.
She has a riding crop instead of a whip. I just realized that's cute. How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
No, that will be fine. Those are the facts, so she says. Claiming speculation is fact already. Don't you feel that evidence is a bit lacking?
You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around this room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rell. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is in a total mess from their fight. I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip at.
Looks like she's becoming more and more confident. Hydrate! Posture check! Okay. I do need the posture check. Okay, let me mark those as done. What are those? A wizard? A sweaty wizard? Oh! That's Usopp! That's a sweaty Usopp and a heart. Looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory.
It looks like you're starting to see my point. I've as good as won our little competition.
Sweaty wizard. Yeah. There's something strange about Francisca's theory. I should compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere. Obviously Mr. Faraday died after shot. They struggled. It's the struggle part. Because they didn't struggle because the... Notes pertaining... There's, gunpowder bound. Shot from a few yards away, possibly still alive for a while after being shot. Did not hear signs of a struggle. I guess this would be the one since I can't just bring up the tea set directly, so here we go. Objection! If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. Now, how, then, did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed?
Isn't there something strange in Francesca's statement just now? Yes. Wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed, because he died instantaneously. That's not it. Shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that.
Ooh, you got me.
That was not that hard of a stretch, but of course.
Well then, if the report is correct, since there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. Updated autopsy report noises. Yep. I see you've been studying, Francesca.
I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Lupin? Welcome back. How's your weekend going?
Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francesca, gonna do a run of the event in 14. I should finish doing the events in 14. Maybe I'll do that after. Francesca, you've still got a ways to go.
What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is the evidence bag's location and the order the bodies fell. The order of events. I mean, everything's kind of weird here. Let me just save. Update my save file real quick, because it's been a while. He died instantaneously. Yeah, wouldn't he have fallen first? Maybe the bags is weird. There's a lot that's weird. The order the bodies fell, the evidence bag's location. I guess he would have died first. Gonna do a quick heckin' stream while listening in and enjoying the craziness? Okay. Sounds good. Have fun. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. And then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
No!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's, therefore. Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is...
No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth.
What now?
I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent.
She sure bounced back quickly. That's an understatement. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. Here we go. What happened? Part 2.
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Nell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
There were no burn marks. I just know that the Francesca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. What happened? Part 2. Just chance, so she says. About that.
Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad that your trick only works on fools.
That wasn't my intent. Such devastation! This wasn't my intention! I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rell. Future Phoenix sneezes. Yep.
Someone's impatient.
Future Phoenix presses literally everything.
I was just about to explain everything to you. So, do you think you could hold on for a minute?
Ugh. Ah, she hit me again! Francesca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours.
Oh, I'll hold on to it all right, as I whip you.
Ugh.
Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind. The two bodies fell into a pile.
The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be just a bit strange?
Not at all.
Ugh. I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart.
Miles Edgeworth, once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile.
Attacked each other at the same time. That's the weird one. What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rell while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rell grabs the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible.
Yes, it's possible, but...
Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got.
Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony.
Huh, I don't see any point to that, but as you please. The facts indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range.
That's the one that's wrong. You're saying that they attacked each other at the same time from close range.
Exactly. Mr. Faraday pointed the gun at Mr. Lel's chest and pulled the trigger. Mr. Lel then took the knife from Mr. Faraday and stabbed him before he fell unconscious. The dead Mr. Faraday instantly fell on top of Mr. Lel from the stabbing, pinning Mr. Lel onto him, where he died shortly thereafter. And that's how they ended up on top of each other, with no contradictions to be seen.
Really doesn't matter, they fell in the opposite order. We gotta finish pressing everything for funsies. Do you really believe that they fell in the exact opposite order in which they attacked? Time to defeat another child? Yep, pretty much.
Miles Edgeworth, you're not listening to a word that I'm saying.
Ugh.
They both attacked each other at the same time, and then Mr. Rel fell first by chance, leaving Mr. Faraday to just happen to fall on top of him. Then Mr. Rel died shortly thereafter, pinned underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened.
So the two men attack each other, with Mr. Bell randomly falling down first. The fact that the order that they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely one certain aspect that I'm having trouble swallowing. Yeah, it's the fact that it was the close range. Close range. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. Boop, boop, doop, doop, doo. This better be the one. No gunpowder burn was close, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. Ready? Objection! So, you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. And therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yes, and this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation.
What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who?
Person that attacked first with murderous intent. That would be Mr. Faraday or Mr. Rel, neither man. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing.
Evidence, correct?
Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
She's sharp for a young one, yep. But she's so cute! Of course. If the third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there's a third person involved? Is it the pen? Because why is the gun in his left hand? Found pen used by the left-handed Faraday. Has Faraday's blood on it. It's found in Rel's hand. Should we try the pen first? I guess let's just try the pen first. Because the gun's in the wrong hand. We haven't talked about that. This is that very evidence.
And exactly how is this related? Do you think you could explain it to me?
There's no need for an explanation. Well, I have no idea how that's related, so could you explain it to me? Yes, well,
Let me guess. You can't explain it, can you?
Nope, that's the wrong one then. Lost respect. Nah. It would appear that I was wrong. There's definitely a contradiction here, and it should resolve itself if there truly was a third person here. I just need to go over the evidence in my thoughts once again. What is the piece of evidence that proves there's a third person involved? This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? Mr. Faraday's blood? No. I don't think this is the issue. The bloody bags. No signs of a struggle. Bullet that killed Rel was fired from a few yards away. Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rel's hand. Immediately after a gunshot was heard. Shot from a few yards away. Is the fact that there's this mystery knife? But we're claiming that Faraday brought it in. And no signs of a struggle. Found in Faraday's hand. Discovered in Definite Lobby number 2. I mean, there's nothing that definitely says there was somebody else here. Other than maybe where did this knife come from? I don't know. We're just gonna do that thing where we try everything. That is this very evidence. How's it related? We're just gonna... I know it's gonna be a loss of 2 things, but at least I don't have to start over completely. Because we're just gonna be guessing. Prove there's a third person involved. The gun because it's in the wrong hand? It's the gun because it's the wrong... I thought that's how I was going with the pen! That's why... Whatever. Same idea, but wrong piece of evidence. Okay. Gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. Oh, I could have presented the bag too. Okay. These 2 items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Call Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, There's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there's a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence.
Ah!
Looks like we've still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection.
Who the heckers is that? Oh, it's you! And the judge has actual... Those are full-on... Yep. That rope does not go down as long as I thought it would. What the heck's up with you, pal?
Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What? Now you just got on my bad side. What's the meaning of this?
Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
That detective claims he was there standing in front of the door the entire time, but I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain that statement.
I'll let His Honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway.
What? See, Mr. Bad. So I ask you, why would a detective who's supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Course not, sir!
It would appear that the one who sets this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Was he behind the vending machines? You can't see him if he's behind the vending machines. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth, or so help me. I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was there in the hallway the whole time. Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all.
Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Motive for the murderers, why he wasn't in the hallway, state of the hallway. Why aren't you in the hallway? Although probably state of the hallway. Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time? Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay? But there's a testimony against you that...
Miles Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time? It's a completely useless question.
I don't know, I thought it'd be funny.
The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing the crime. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool.
Ugh. Maybe I should ask about something else. What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Stay in the hallway. Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in the hallway at any time, correct? Huh? Oh, of course not, pal! You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me? Watch your mouth, pal! You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence! Suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point.
Miles Edgeworth, how can you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace!
Ugh. Maybe I should ask about something else. Oh, I thought that would be the one. Motive for the murders. Suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe? Got a grudge against Faraday or anything? No, sir. Not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir. Is that a fact?
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I am not lying.
The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know? If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here.
Would you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation.
You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice.
Gumshoe's motive?
It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut? That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
You totally misunderstood me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I could never hold a grudge. Quiet. Can't trust anything you say. Sir! There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Miss Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. Rebuttal. About a week ago. Then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances.
No way! I only met him in person today.
And how did you know about Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, I've seen him around before.
Saw him getting chewed out in front of the precinct. Mr. Faraday was upset.
Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beet red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making now, right?
I'm completely innocent, I tell you. That poor man.
It was quite the scene with the detective.
Super pale, Mr. Faraday yelled at him. You just stood there watching this unfold in front of you?
Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too.
Yep, come on.
That's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him.
No way. I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face. I mean, it's Band-Aid.
But you do!
Huh? Oh, I got stuck on my face.
Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows.
Wow, I really don't like her. She's so rude. Huh?
Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun.
Miss Yu, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. She's an utter punk. Yep.
Sure, why not?
Brand new detective suddenly getting salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that. Not quite the word you would use, but I honestly don't like her the slightest. Yeah, I can think of a different word for her. One that we're not going to repeat, but I can think of one.
I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice?
Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? Maybe. Suppose I did.
It's only natural to cut a versus detective's salary down to their actual verse.
But he gets paid so little now. Leave the poor man alone.
My fossil can even fire anyone, new or old, with a snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people?
Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me about Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier.
Well,
how's that for the perfect explanation? You call your explanation perfect?
It is not to your liking.
Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards.
Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case?
I don't think I have any evidence that's going to help me here. My mentor said it was more chic to keep it in my pocket. Real identity unknown, but claims to be a notable thief infiltrated the embassy. Judge in the embassy staff killing case testifies no one was in the hallway for a short time. Girl with a balloon. During the recess, she asked me to change some coins for her. Oh, vending machine. Eagle-eyed homicide detective was called in to be expert on the Yata Gadasi case. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant. Rel. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant. Rel. I was to battle her in court. New rookie detective at the precinct. First crime scene. Seems very enthusiastic. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Sure. Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me. How Mr. Faraday was killed, motive for killing Mr. Rel. Faraday and Gumshoe's relation. Ooh. Okay, we know how he was killed. Motive for killing Mr. Rel is probably as a witness. She's already telling us what the relation is, but give me the motivation for Rel. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rel?
His motive for killing Rel? Like I would know.
There's no clear motive for both of the murders. And I doubt this incident would have occurred, wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves?
Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea.
What? That's impossible. She must know something.
Wait! Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh.
I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away.
Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, the crime would have played out the way it did anyway.
Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation.
Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up.
I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second.
Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids.
Motive to kill the men?
The There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rell, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other.
Wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. Who would have a grudge against both? Prosecutor of the KG8 incident stabbed to death with a knife. Dead man, that's the victim in the case that they were just doing. Not the judge. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant Rell. I mean, what about her? Codopian embassy staff member. He was the suspect in the KG8 incident. Yeah, he probably wouldn't like either person either. Second KG8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member. And the two men who both wound up as suspects in a case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? Oh, because found not guilty. Yeah, she would hate Faraday for not getting this guy off for killing their probable sister. For not convicting him. Motive to kill the men. No one, she's saying there's no one out there who matches that. So there's no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell?
I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today.
She's lying through her teeth. I just saw someone like that here earlier.
Besides, you don't need to prove that the killer had a grudge against both men.
Prove one, because then the other's a witness. Someone with a grudge against one of the men. In that case, aren't there plenty of other people who fit the bill?
Sure. After all, who doesn't garner scorn from another simply by being alive? But the only one who held a grudge and acted upon it by killing was Detective Gumshoe. Furthermore,
Mr. L is a witness. Okay. So you're saying that he was basically silenced?
Aren't you glad you managed to avoid the same fate, Your Honor? Why, if you had been the one to witness the blood-covered detective...
Oh, what? Detective Gumshoe? You would kill even me? What? I could never do something as terrible as that, Your Honor. There's no need for even a second of deliberation. I will hand down my verdict here. Your Honor, take a look around. We are not in a court right now. It would be greatly appreciated if you would stay here with us in reality. Please forgive me. I know not what I do.
And you, sir, Miss Yu, hurry up and continue your testimony. If you fail to do so, I will whip you into shape. That's nice. Sounds kind of fun, actually.
Whoa, someone's got a kink.
Anyway, Detective Gumshoe had to erase the witness, Mr. Rell.
Killed out of necessity, and then set up. I didn't do it, pal!
No hard feelings, but I don't think we can take the word of a criminal seriously.
What? I can't even begin to think of ways to set up a crime scene.
I suppose you do lack the necessary tactical mind required to do such a thing.
Why do you have to kick a man when he's down, pal?
You shouldn't put yourself down, Detective. You're a big boy. I bet you thought it all up by yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right, and I worked real hard at it, too. Gumshoe! I think this proves one thing about the detective. He has the mental acuity of a worm. I have to admit, her explanation makes sense. However, there's also something she overlooked in her testimony. I should present that piece of evidence and see if I can make her see the truth. All you have to do is establish someone else had a grudge. Killed out of necessity. Alright, hold on. Resaving. And they were set up to make it look like they killed each other? Faraday died of a stab wound to the chest. Merle died of a bullet wound. Oops. No one out there with the motive to kill both. Established someone had a grudge against one of them. Happened to be there. Became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Killed out of necessity. Let's just try this. No, that ain't it. What do we think about this? Someone with more experience in law than you, let me share something. Use your own brain, figure it out yourself. Can't be sorry to bother you with such a mundane question.
No need to be so serious.
Toss you another piece of advice. No contradiction, she says. No, I just wanted to load. Oh well, it's fine. Loading's gonna— I was trying to figure out if loading would be easier. Who happened to be there. But why would the defendant be in the prosecutor's place? Gotta present something. Became a witness to the murder. Discovered immediately after the gunshot was heard. No, that's not it. Alright, rather than go through all of that again, we're just gonna load it, because I don't want to wait for it to... I don't want to wait for it to scroll. Became a witness. Not a Faraday's blood on it. Are we gonna bring up the fact that there is someone out there? No one out there with the motive to kill both? Alright, let's do that. There we go. That was the one. We were talking about the motive earlier. I forgot about it. And I was just like, okay, what did we just talk about? That was it. We were talking about the motive. Miss Yu, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up?
What do you mean?
We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was a suspect in the original KG-8 incident, and a member of the Codopian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Codopian embassy staff, Mr. Rell, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men?
Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You covered for me, pal! Oh, Gumshoe. So happies. Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold.
But I didn't do it!
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be not be very forgiving should something. You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time. And why is that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on that guy since he arrived.
Since the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe.
Suppose so. No way! Come on, Detective Bad! You've gotta believe me, sir! I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir! I never took a single step into this room, sir! Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway? Hey! Oh, there was no one else, sir. Then why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt.
I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would at least offer up a "I spaced out while on duty" or the like. Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation. Detective Bad!
Miles Edgeworth, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa. To Papa.
There we go. And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone?
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh?
Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about.
What is it?
Television has been left on to preserve the crime scene, of course, and it will stay on until the police are finished with their investigation. They think nothing of saving electricity. How bothersome. It's Mr. Faraday's bag, the evidence for the trial of the embassy staff's murders in here. If things had gone smoothly, they would now be mine. Including the two weapons in this double murder, the knife and the gun, I suppose.
So, what do you want to ask me about?
Gotta show everyone the badge. Oh wait, I already showed it to you. Never mind, I don't care anymore. Tell me about the incident. The current case of the murdered Codopian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident.
Only among you law enforcement types. And what about it?
I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know?
I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here.
Think you can stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me?
If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is. Now I can show her the article. I tried to show it to her earlier. Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident.
That file is your proof. Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8 incident?
Through the victim. Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case?
Sorry, but we're not related. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but...
Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth.
All right, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU.
As I thought.
And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist.
What?
I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence.
Then the evidence had been tampered with?
Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along.
How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation?
I don't really know, which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know.
You mean, you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring?
I don't know what to think.
What about Manny? Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier?
Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Ooh, boy, stop it with that scary face already. I'm fine. Really, I gave him a good slap across the face.
The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh?
That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life.
Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we?
Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch the criminal in my own way as well. You'll see. Look at you with your game face on, ready to go. I I'm making no such face.
Did you know laughter's the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time?
I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. Okay, that's pretty damn edgy.
There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've gotta get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up.
So much edge, yeah. But this was pre-Edgeworth getting a soul from meeting Phoenix again. The KG-8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Okay, buddy. To be continued. We are gonna save. Alright. This is where we stop for the evening, because it is 9:30, approaching our end time of 10, and you know it's a good place to stop. So alright, we're gonna end here. We'll continue this case next week. I see Dr. Lupin's rating. Let's go raid Dr. Lupin. Let's see. What should we do for raid call? Spam momos. Do the momos. Or objections. Yeah, let's do objections. Alright. We're gonna go raid Dr. Lupin. And then tomorrow will be more 14. I think we're gonna try to start before raid time like we did last time and do some side quests and stuff, maybe. We'll see. I gotta get through event quests on my alts, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you had fun. We're digging deep into this. We keep like going forward and backwards in time, and it's like time shenanigans without actually being time shenanigans, so it's very interesting. But yeah, this is cool because we get to see where we meet Gumshoe. And we know it's going to work out in the end for Gumshoe because, I mean, obviously he's there in the future. But yeah, the backstory is very cool to see. So, we'll pick this up next week. Hope you all have a good rest of your day or rest of your weekend if I don't see you again. And, we'll catch you all next time. Thanks again. Go say hi to Dr. Lupin. Show him objections and momos. And or parfaits, whatever you want. And I'll see you all later. Bye!
Hello. Welcome to the stream. Hold up, one. Wait. Jesus. Hello. I didn't listen in towards the end of that big old section right there. It's a very, very good case. I am also going to be only around for like a little bit today because at about like 27 minutes, I'm going to be heading out to a little bit of a